Welcome back to my channel, Katie Cooks Easy Recipes, and today I'll be talking you through a really yummy one-pot Hunter's chicken and rice. It's the perfect midweek meal and you can just grab a fork and dive in. This is my twist on the classic. You can find the recipe in the caption or on my website katiecooks.co.uk. We're going to start by seasoning up our chicken pieces. We really want to get some flavour onto the chicken because once the lid's on this one pot rice dish, there's no going back. This is my homemade barbecue rub, but of course you can buy a ready-made shop bought one, that's no problem. Again, you'll find the ingredients for this in the recipe in the caption. So add your barbecue rubbed into a bowl with your chicken and a little splash of olive oil and just get that all tossed together until everything is well coated. You will need a pan that's got a lid available to it. This is my favourite pan to use. It's a shallow casserole dish with a lid. It's also got enough depth in it that we can add our stock and do the absorption method for the rice. So just get some oil into that pan on a medium to high heat and then add your chicken. The cooking time will depend on how large you've diced your chicken. Normally between 8 to 10 minutes is perfectly fine, but you do just want to make sure that all the chicken is cooked through. And then once you're happy with that, we're going to remove that and put it onto a clean plate, not the same plate it was on, a clean plate, and then we're just going to set that to one side until we re-add it a little bit later on. Now in the same pan, on the same heat, medium to high, we're going to go in with the other lovely Hunter's chicken flavour, which is obviously great smoky bacon. I've cut up 3 rashers here, but feel free to use bacon lardons, whatever you can get your hands on. And just pop that into the pan, and we want to cook that until it's golden and just going nice and crisp. Don't worry about what seems to be burnt bits on the bottom of your pan. That's going to add real lovely flavour, and I'm going to show you how we get that off the bottom of the pan in a minute. But now our bacon's lovely and cooked and the fat's lovely and crispy, we're going to go in with a diced onion and 2 cloves of garlic that we've crushed or diced as finely as possible. And the last thing we want to do is have any of the onion or the garlic in particular burning. So a great tip to ensure that this doesn't happen is by adding around about 100 ml of water to the pan. So this will help to cook the onion and garlic more gently, and also it will help to get all that lovely flavour off the bottom of the pan. So if you ever hear anyone in a recipe talk about deglazing a pan, that's exactly what we've just done. Sometimes people do it with alcohol, but water works just fine. And next up we're going to add our soaked, rinsed basmati rice, and the reason why you want to soak it is just to get rid of all the starch that's in there. So put it into cold water about 20 minutes and then just rinse it through until the water runs clear, and that way that will stop your rice sticking together and it will cook more evenly and it won't be claggy, it will be delicious. So chuck that into your pot and give it all a stir around. And it wouldn't be a Hunter's chicken dish without that classic smoky barbecue flavour. So just grab your normal favourite barbecue sauce and add in a couple of large tablespoons. And then you're going to go in with your hot chicken stock. This is about 500 ml and the rice I added was about 230 grams. And what I'm going to show you now is the absorption method, which I think is the best way to cook rice. So once you've added everything in, give it a stir around. We haven't put our chicken back in yet, that's going to come in a minute. And then turn the heat up, and you want to bubble that stock away until it's just about at the same level as the rice. You'll see that when we first added the stock, it looked like there was a bit too much stock in there. But now it's all about the same level. We're going to pop our chicken, cooked chicken, back in, and any juices that are left in the pan. Pop that back in, give it a little stir around, and then what we're going to do is turn the heat to very low, almost off, and cover the pan with a lid. For extra security, to ensure that the steam doesn't release from around the lid if there's any slight gaps, I like to layer a little bit of tin foil over it and then put the lid on, and then I kind of like scrunch all the tin foil up so there's literally, I know that there's no gaps whatsoever and no steam is going to be released. And don't forget to turn that to very, very low, almost off, and then do not touch that lid for 12 minutes. And then after 12 minutes, hopefully you will have the most perfect cooked rice. And because everything's cooked in one pan, it's just soaked in all those delicious Hunter's chicken flavour, the barbecue, the bacon, the chicken, the spices. It's absolutely incredible. All that's left to do now is add the cheese. So we're just going to sprinkle over some grated cheese. This is a medium grated cheddar. And then turn the heat off on the pan, that's absolutely fine. And then cover again with the lid and just leave that for 2 or 3 minutes, and the residual heat will actually melt that cheese, and it's going to be ooey and gooey and delicious. And all that's left to do is give it a couple of little garnishes, and by garnishes I obviously mean extra of that yummy barbecue sauce and some lovely sliced spring onions that just add a lovely little fresh bite to the dish. And all that's left to do is either dish it up into bowls, or if you just can't wait to dig into this comfort dish, just grab a fork and dive in. Now tell me this isn't going to be one of your new favourites.